Alexa, what time is it?
It's 10 a.m.
Well, it's 10 a.m. Alexa said it. It must be right.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Okay, I better not say the name again. Hey Leah. Hello, good morning. Yesterday, hi Claire, I had a proper panic on. We have like a rota that Luke sends out at the weekend, and so from that we know, hi Claire, from that we know what day we're doing the devotion. And so yesterday morning, I'm really involved in a situation at work at the moment, which is quite time devouring, to be honest. And I get to about 5 to 11, and I thought, I'm sure I'm on Friday today. So I thought, well, I'll quickly just check, you know what I mean? So I flicked back through my WhatsApps from Luke, and he said I was on Thursday, yesterday, which I meant I'd missed it by 55 minutes. And I was like, oh no, all these months we've been doing this, and I'm the first idiot to miss it. Anyway, it was all okay. We'd done a swap, and I missed it on a later WhatsApp, so, you know, panic over. And it was all done. It was a devotion yesterday. It was my very good friend, hi Matt, hi John. It was my very good friend Simon Oak yesterday. We are not allowing one or two people from that maybe some of you don't know are doing some of these devotions. Known Sam for like 30 years or something like that. He's a really, really good guy. So I hope you found his testimony encouraging. He's an encouraging sort of guy, worth getting to know. Hi John, hi Mary. So, as you know, we are talking from the book of Proverbs this month, and we're doing things about wisdom. Now, do you consider yourself a wise person? Do I consider myself a wise person? I don't know. Hi Mavis. I'm not sure. I mean, during these 10 minutes, you've not got much. If you don't know me, you've not got much to draw upon to know if I'm wise or not. But we all make these judgments, don't we? We all meet people, hi Elaine, and it's not like we're sort of judging them in, you know, I mean, some people are judgmental by nature. I'm not talking about that. But cheers for that. Some people are judgmental by nature, and I'm not really talking about that. I'm saying about people that, as you meet somebody, you just make a judgment call, don't you? And you think they are a certain type of person. If I met me and was unfortunate enough to spend the afternoon with me, which would be weird, wouldn't it? Imagine meeting yourself. Wouldn't that be interesting? But if I met me and spent all afternoon with me, would I leave me thinking that I was a wise or an unwise man? Think about yourself. If you have spent all afternoon chatting with yourself, hi Sam, good to see you. If you spent all afternoon chatting with yourself, would you like what you saw? Or would you think, actually, it's a bit of a duffer? She's a bit of a duffer. I hope I wouldn't think that about myself. But I do recognise that there's big chunks of my life where I'm not as wise as I should be. Some of us have blind spots, don't we? You know, some of us, we have a blind spot in life where we can't quite see that's that part of our life which lacks wisdom, that lacks something. And they're difficult because obviously when people tell you what your blind spot is, then you don't always want to hear it. So we're going to talk from the book of Proverbs. I'm going to pick up on chapter 4 today. Now, Proverbs has sort of largely been written by Solomon, and I think it was Leah that told us a story about Solomon was given a variety of choices. I think it was money, power, or wisdom, and he chose wisdom, and consequently got all three. Good for him. So this book that he wrote is all about wise stuff. Now I know some people that can write wise words, but I actually don't think they're very wise. Morning, Scott. And I know some people that can, you know, talk a good story. It does not mean that they are necessarily wise people. Good morning, church and everyone. Hi, Pat. But I think Solomon was. And he was credited as being the wisest man in the world ever lived and that type of thing. Well, I don't know about that. But I think he was a wise man. So I'm going to read. Now, today I've decided I'm going to read the whole of the chapter. It's not particularly long. I'll read the whole of the chapter. I'm not going to add much to the chapter, actually. I'll add that in subsequent devotions. So what I like about this, it's called, in my Bible, Get Wise at Any Cost. At any cost. Okay, Proverbs 4. Listen, my sons, to a father's instruction. Pay attention and gain understanding. I give you sound learning, so do not forsake my teaching. For I too was a son to my father, still tender and cherished by my mother. Then he taught me, and he said to me, take hold of my words with all your heart, keep my commands, and you will live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget my words or turn away from them. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. The beginning of wisdom is this. Get wisdom. Seems a bit vague, isn't it? The beginning is this. Get the thing. Anyway, get wisdom. Though it costs you all you have, get understanding. Cherish her, and she will exalt you. Embrace her, and she will honour you. It's an interesting little chapter, that the verse about that though, isn't it? Is that, we do wander through life sometimes, actually, just, well, I do anyway. I realise I've drifted through a day, and all I've done is not really thought about what I'm doing. But we need to make a proactive choice sometimes to get something. Wisdom will give you a garland to grace your head and present you with a glorious crown. Listen, my son, accept what I say, and the years of your life will be many. I instruct you in the way of wisdom and lead you along straight paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hampered. When you run, you will not stumble. Hold on to instruction. Do not let it go. Guard it well, for it is your life. Do not set foot on the path of the wicked or walk in the way of evildoers. Avoid it. Do not travel on it. Turn from it and go on your way. For they cannot rest until they do evil. They are robbed of sleep until they make somebody stumble. They eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. The path of righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the light of day. But the way of wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. My son, pay attention to what I say. Turn your ears to my words. Let's focus on the last bit here. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart. For they are life to those who find them and health to one's whole body. Above all, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Keep your mouth free from perversity. Keep corrupt talk far from your lips. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give thought to the paths for your feet and be steadfast in all your ways. Do not look to the right or the left. Keep your foot from evil. Above all, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. The Bible talks about out of the abundance of the heart and mouth speaks. And, the inner man, the part of me that you can't see, I don't know what you would want to call it, your heart, your soul, the real Terence Clark or whoever it is that you are, that's a person that's struggling to get out sometimes. And what's in there will come out. So that's the bit we need to guard. We need to guard what we put in there to make sure the right stuff's coming out and the right stuff's going in. The difficulty we have, I think, in today's society is we're all juggling a lot of different things, aren't we? We're trying to juggle higher Ruth. We're encouraged to give 100% attention to our health. Very important to be healthy and strong. And then we're encouraged to give 100% attention to our jobs. It's important that we have a career, blah, blah, blah. And we're encouraged to give 100% attention to, or whatever else we do. 100% attention to our family. Family is important. And if you lose your loved ones, then you're left with nothing. And then we're encouraged to give 100% attention to our relationship with God. It's very, very important, our relationship with God. Without that, everything else falls apart. It's very hard giving 100% attention to everything in our lives. It's impossible. So sometimes you need to just take a step back and think, what's important? So let's think about wisdom from that point of view. Let's think about what I said earlier on. What if I met me and I'd spend all afternoon with me this afternoon? What one or two things would I think about me that might be blind spots to me, but maybe God can illuminate to me and I can change? Sometimes you look at your life and you think, I've got to change this, I've got to change that, and it's just too much to start with. If you're trying to lose weight and you want to be 2 stone lighter, you don't start by thinking, I need to be now this weight. You start by taking chunks of it, don't you? You start by doing bits at a time. That's the only way to go at things. I'd like us to consider today and pray to God about the wisdom in our lives. And pray that, God will highlight those 1 or 2 things that maybe you can make a difference with. Let's not start by looking at our lives and interrogating ourselves and thinking, woe is me, this is wrong and that's wrong and that's wrong, because you can't deal with it that way. Let's instead pray that, Lord, give me something, give me a bite-sized chunk I can work on this weekend. Lord, today, speak to me about a thing, a small thing, that I can actually have an impact on and I can scratch away at and actually make an impact on. You know, like I said earlier on about making judgments on folk that we bump into. Let's be somebody that actually, when people do meet us, that thing, whatever that thing is that God talks to you about, that thing is sorted out. So I'm going to leave it at that today. I'm going to pray before we go, and I'm going to pray about this particular issue. Father God, I pray that myself and everyone listening to this, I pray, Lord, right now, help us, Father, to know where to start. And Lord, I pray for the wisdom in my own life, and I pray, Lord, for those listening. Lord, help us, Lord, to analyse ourselves, not too deeply, but to come up with one or two things, Lord, that we can make an impact on. Those few things that we think, you know what, I can have a go at that, I can deal with that thing in my life that God's identified that I don't like so much. For asking in your name, amen. Well, I'm absolutely boiled. Since I sat down, I've been drinking my tea out of this mug here that says I might look like I'm listening to you, but in my head I'm riding my motorbike. Well, probably having a motorbike's not very wise either. But so I'm drinking this tea and it's absolutely boiling, and I've realised that I've got all hot and bothered. So sorry about that if I'm all sweaty. Anyway, if you're not working today, have a lovely day in your garden or whatever you're doing. I'm going to go back up to my office now and carry on working on this contract for Fife in Scotland, which is really fascinating. And have a lovely, lovely day and a blessed weekend. And we hope to see you on Sunday morning in the Cuppa Room at 10:30. Please be there. And we'll see you then. Bye-bye, everybody.